In 2016, a young American student named Otto Warmbier traveled to North Korea for an adventurous and unique journey. But what followed was a tragic nightmare. Otto's case was arrested for 15 years of hard work, and eventually returned to America in a coma state. Today, we explore Otto Warmy's crushed story, his time in North Korea, and many unanswered questions related to his death. Otto Warmbier was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, on December 12, 1994. The eldest of Cynthia, Cindy, née Garber, and Fred Warmbier's three children, he was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. Warmbier's mother was Jewish, and he identified as Jewish. He attended Wyoming High School, where he was considered popular and studious, and graduated in 2013 as salutatorian. After that, he enrolled at the University of Virginia, where he was pursuing a double major degree in commerce and economics, and did a foreign exchange at the London School of Economics. His minor was in global sustainability. Warmbier, who was Jewish, was active in Hillel on his college campus. He was a member of the Theta Chi fraternity. Being interested in other cultures, he had visited Israel, Europe, Cuba, and Ecuador. Warmbier was scheduled to undertake a study abroad program in Hong Kong in early 2016 and decided to visit North Korea en route over the New Year period. He booked a tour of North Korea with Young Pioneer Tours, a budget tour operator based in China founded by two Westerners, whose slogan was, "Destinations your mother would rather you stayed away from." Warmbier's father, Fred, said that Young Pioneer advertised the trip as safe for U.S. citizens and that Otto was curious about their culture. He wanted to meet the people of North Korea. On December 29, 2015, Warmbier flew via Beijing to North Korea with his tour group, which included 10 other U.S. citizens, for a 5-day New Year tour. The tour group celebrated New Year's Eve by carousing in Pyongyang's Kim Il-sung Square before returning to the Yanggakdo International Hotel, where some continued drinking alcohol. According to his trial, Warmbier tried to steal a propaganda poster from a staff-only area of the hotel at around 2 a.m. on New Year's Day. On January 2, 2016, Warmbier was arrested at Pyongyang International Airport while awaiting departure from North Korea. Danny Grattan, a British member of Warmbier's tour group, witnessed the arrest. No words were spoken. Two guards just came over and simply tapped Otto on the shoulder and led him away. I just said, kind of quite nervously, "Well, that's the last we'll see of you." There's a great irony in those words. That was it. That was the last physical time I saw Otto, ever. Otto didn't resist. He didn't look scared. He sort of half smiled. When the group's plane was about to leave the terminal, an official came aboard and announced, "Otto is very sick and has been taken to the hospital." Some media reports indicated that Warmbier spoke by phone to a Young Pioneer tour guide following his arrest. But this was denied by a Young Pioneer spokesman who told BBC News that none of its employees had direct contact with Otto after he was escorted away. The others in his tour group left the country without incident. North Korea's state-run Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, initially announced that Warmbier had been detained for a hostile act against the state, without specifying further details. North Korea refused to elaborate on the precise nature of his wrongdoing for 6 weeks, although a Young Pioneer spokeswoman advised Reuters there had been an incident at the Yanggakdo Hotel. In a press conference on February 29, 2016, Warmbier, reading from a prepared statement, confessed that he had attempted to steal a propaganda poster from a restricted staff-only area of the second floor of the Yanggakdo Hotel to take home. The poster said, in Korean, "Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong-il's patriotism." Damaging or stealing such items with the name or image of a North Korean leader is considered a serious crime by the North Korean government. It is not known whether the confession was forced, as Warmbier never regained consciousness after his return to the U.S. However, at least one observer said that he was clearly under duress. Former prisoners of North Korea have later recanted their confessions after their release, stating they were made under duress. Warmbier's confession also stated that he had plotted to steal the poster at the behest of a Methodist church in his hometown and the Z Society, a secret society at the University of Virginia that he wished to join, both of which he said were allied with the Central Intelligence Agency. These claims, which Time magazine called fanciful and implausible, were disputed by both the church and the Z Society. The New York Times remarked that the unlikely nature of the details suggested the script had been written by Mr. Warmbier's North Korean interrogators. U.S. negotiator Mickey Bergman later stated that Warmbier's family were advised to maintain silence about his Jewish heritage while he was under arrest, as negotiators believed that publicly repudiating Warmbier's purported affiliation with a Methodist church would antagonize the North Korean regime. On March 16, 2016, a few hours after U.S. envoy Bill Richardson met in New York with two North Korean diplomats from the United Nations office to press for Warmbier's release, Warmbier was tried and convicted in North Korea's Supreme Court. He was charged with subversion under Article 60 of North Korea's Criminal Code. The court held that he had committed a crime pursuant to the U.S. government's hostile policy toward North Korea in a bid to impair the unity of its people after entering it as a tourist. Evidence at his trial, which lasted 1 hour, included his confession, CCTV footage, fingerprint evidence, and witness testimony. His confession reads as follows: I never should have allowed myself to be lured by the United States administration to commit a crime in this country. I wish that the United States administration never manipulate people like myself in the future to commit crimes against foreign countries. I entirely beg you, the people and government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, for your forgiveness. Please, I made the worst mistake of my life. Warmbier was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. Human Rights Watch called the hearing a kangaroo court and described the sentencing as outrageous and shocking. U.S. State Department spokesman Mark Toner stated it was clear that North Korea arrested American citizens for political purposes, despite its claims to the contrary. Fred and Cindy Warmbier met with numerous Obama administration officials, including then Secretary of State John Kerry, and with the Swedish ambassador Torkel Stjernlöf, who served as an interlocutor between the U.S. and North Korea. On June 13, 2017, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson announced that North Korea had released Warmbier. Tillerson also announced that the State Department had secured Warmbier's release at the direction of President Donald Trump, and the State Department would continue discussing 3 other detained Americans with North Korea. During his release, the North Koreans provided a disc containing 2 magnetic resonance imaging brain scans, dated April and July 2016, showing damage to the brain. According to his medical team, brain scans revealed Warmbier had suffered extensive loss of tissue throughout his brain, consistent with a cardiopulmonary event that caused the brain to be deprived of oxygen. Doctors said they did not know what may have caused a cardiac arrest if one had occurred, but that it could have been triggered by a respiratory arrest, while a neurointensive care specialist at the hospital stated that there was no evidence of botulism. His doctors found no evidence of physical abuse or torture. Scans of Warmbier's neck and head were normal outside of the brain injury. They added that they didn't see any signs of healing or previously healed fractures, believing that, for somebody who had been bedridden for more than a year, that his body was in excellent condition, that his skin was in excellent condition. After his parents requested his feeding tube be removed, Warmbier died in the hospital at 2:20 p.m. on June 19, 2017, at the age of 22. His family issued a statement expressing their sadness, thanking the hospital staff for their actions. At the request of Warmbier's family, an autopsy was not performed, and only a post-mortem external examination was conducted. A funeral for Warmbier was held on June 22, 2017, at Wyoming High School. More than 2,500 mourners attended. He was buried at Oak Hill Cemetery in Glendale, Ohio, and students tied ribbons on every tree and pole along the 3-mile route taken by the funeral procession from the high school to the cemetery. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into politics and history.